Spinning through a world in motion. Take it all the way. Work your move, work it out. That's what life is all about. It's your adventure. To the dark, to the light. It's a supersonic flight. Gotta keep it going. Sonic boom, sonic boom. Rubble keeps you running faster. Save the planet from disaster. Sonic boom. Spinning through a world in motion. Sonic boom. Take it all the way.
Hello, hello! How's everybody doing tonight? Random stream on a Tuesday. I'm going to be finishing up painting Squid. You're actually going to see me paint on a stream. I haven't done that in a while. That should be fun. I took an airbrush to make all like the glowy highlights. So that should be look pretty cool. It actually looks pretty solid on camera. But in real life, that yellow is super patchy. It's going to take a lot of layers. Let's see who's here. Wow, we got a lot of chat going already. Welcome, Flesh Grinder, Elijah's Extraordinary Animations, Josh Chan, the Blue Blur fan. I feel like I should say that faster. Josh Chan, the Blue Blur fan. Josh Chan, the Blue Blur. Josh Chan, the Blue Blur fan. Blue Blur flan. No, I got to get it right once. Josh Chan, the Blue Blur fan. Close enough. What's up, Mihoan15? I don't even know if I got that right. Mohan. Chappis. I see at the top of the screen, Chappis gave a super chat as usual. I'll see what the message is once I scroll down. Thank you very much for that, though. I very much appreciate that, as always. We have Shark Plays. Steak, please demonstrate how you thin your paints. Hey, yeah, great idea. Let's do that. In fact, I have some good information both for airbrushing now and regular paints. So yeah, we'll show that. Let's see, we got Shark Plays. I think I already said the name. My day is okay, Shark Plays. Started a little weird. Got a little weird near the end too. Some unhappy people in the community. What can you do? Welcome, Sparkwolf404. Alright, great to have y'all here. Am I able to make movie Metal Sonic? Yes, and in fact, I am going to be making it out of this Chaos Sonic figure. So I'm going to pop the head off, give it my own head, and then it seemed like this was just a perfect shape. Maybe I'll have to drill into it a little bit, but a perfect shape to be able to put a 3D printed part to have that circle chest piece. And then of course replace the feet. I don't know yet where it comes apart. I'm hoping that maybe just that foot will come off and I'll have an easy foot replacement. Of course, the cool cannon hand. I like this guy's articulation. He's going to need to have these round parts chopped off like this. And then I'll slide the more square shoulder piece on. Yeah. Yes, it was Flesh Grinder. Yeah, that's what I woke up to. I think my first message was, this is a fun message to wake up to. I don't know, I just had this weird feeling in the beginning of the day that it was a kid saying that, so I didn't want to go too hard on him. I don't care if you guys go hard on him. I was a little bit tempered. I was a little bit more even-tempered because I was just waking up and groggy, and I was like, I respond angrily to this, is it just because I'm grumpy because I'm sleepy? Looking back on it, yeah, it was messed up what he said. But I'm happy with my even-tempered response. Yeah, I'll just give you a recap, Flesh Grinder. Somebody's unhappy with all the customizers right now. Just some entitlement. I think it's easy to forget that, you know, we make these models. You know, I'm more attached to the ones I make completely from scratch, but you know, we do occasionally take from the real models more often now than I did in the past. But it's still work that goes into it, and I think it was the fact that I gave them away for free for so long that I think kind of people got in the habit of feeling a bit entitled to them. And so yeah, when people started selling them, I took them down. It's not something I'm going to do now, and I think it's just going to be an adjustment that you know, some people are going to be unhappy about, but you know, let's make some art, you know. Yeah, people in the chat, you guys can fill in more of the details. That's the overview. It was somebody came on Discord, unhappy about it, and then later in the day made a big old Reddit post about it. I think I'm just gonna do some art, and we're showing you something kind of unique. I don't usually paint on the stream, just because it's usually kind of hard to set up, but I realize this thing's so big, this camera, I'll put it down here, it's just gonna see it real easy. So let's answer Chapas' question. Let's get it just over a little bit. Let's talk about thinning paints. I happen to have this little cup here. This is a great thing to get for working with paints. By the way, is the music too loud, guys? It sounds really loud in my ears, and I can't turn it any down further. Yes, of course you can, Shark Plays. Hedgehog motion films. I wouldn't guess that they would. Let's see. So, it's not loud for you guys? Dang, yeah, it's just so loud for me. I'll just move my headphones off my head a little bit because I've got it as low as I can go. Let's see. So here's some paint that I already thinned for my airbrush, and I want to show you. This is a technique that I recently learned in figuring out how to get it thin enough for airbrush. I don't know if this camera will see it. Try to notice how fast it comes down from the side. You can't because I'm turning away. How am I going to do this? I got to grab the camera. Okay. So, hopefully you can see where it is right now. Kind of see the speed. You're not going to see it on the camera very well. There's a certain... I'll just describe the speed. So for the right consistency with airbrush, and this airbrush paint, this isn't airbrush paint actually. This is just a craft paint, an orange paint that I mixed with airbrush thinner. About, I'd say 1/3 airbrush thinner, 2/3 this. And I kept mixing it more and more until it had this consistency where it has not too liquidy, but not too slow. Like it should fall down the side of the cup in 1/4 second or so. No faster, no shorter. And take that with a grain of salt because I am only learning airbrushing myself right now. And when I thin down my paints for painting, I'm also not an expert at that. I don't often get the smoothest paint jobs. Oh yeah, great tomatoes, JP. The consistency you've heard is milk-like. Yeah, I like that. I think that's a good amount. Yes, Sparkle Wolf, I waste a lot of paint. So let me grab some paint real quick. I'll be right back. Alright, so here I've got my just the worst kind of paint for this example, or best kind of paint for this example because it's not very smooth. And oftentimes I'll just put it on my nice clean palette. I should wash these off better. And I'll just put a little bit in there. Oh, that's real bad. I need to shake it up first because this hasn't been used forever. So I'll put a little bit down, you know, kind of about how I want, and now I'll take my water. This is what I'm drinking right now, but I'm not using it to paint at the moment. Let's find a cleaner paintbrush. Oh, you know what? I'll just use my finger. A lot of times I use my paintbrush, but what I like to do is I just like to take my finger and let drips of it go down into the palette. And what I'm looking for is about 1/3 water to 2/3 paint. A lot of people say 50-50, and that might be better, but I'll just tell you exactly what I generally do, which is 1/3 water to 2/3 paint. Once again, I don't know if that's the best mixture. And what you want is kind of that same consistency as airbrush, actually. When I'm trying to compare what I usually do and what I find are the best results, you can't really, I mean, there's not really much you can see on the camera of this consistency. This is still a bit thick. Let's see if maybe it'll look, yeah, it's not immediately dripping off. You also don't want it dripping off crazy fast, but it's like taking its time to come off of here, right? There's a lot of surface tension. So I might add a little more water to this. And we're actually getting closer to 50-50 with how much water I'm deciding to put in now. It's also hard to say because I actually, you know, I first learned to paint maybe 10 years ago. I don't actually remember what I was told. And I just kind of go with what my usual workflow is. It still feels a bit thick, but you can see it's forming a, well, maybe you can or maybe you can't. It's forming more of a drop shape instead of just being rounded on the edge of my paintbrush. And you'll notice I'm using the end of my paintbrush, not this part. You don't want to mess up the bristles. I'm not necessarily a person who does a good job of taking care of my paintbrushes in the first place, but yeah, I'll tell you what you should do, and then I don't always follow those rules. What's up, Crescent Blue Zero? What's up, Buzz Lotier? Yeah, water dropper, like Sparkle Wolf said, is probably a really great idea for that. So normally you wouldn't drink this water, but this is my drinking water. I only stuck my finger in it. And a lot of times, you know, I'll have a cup of water for, you know, wiping off the paint from my brushes, getting it nice and clean. A lot of times I'll just take the water from that and drip it in. I don't find that it affects the colors much, but probably best to just have 2 cups of water. One for cleaning things off and one for putting, thinning your paints. So maybe I'll do a video on that with like a better camera and more close up and stuff, and also do a little research to make sure I'm telling you the right things. And maybe I could put together like a video of like, you know, good 10 good painting techniques or something. And I'll really up my game before I do that so I can know what I'm talking about more. It's a lot of times like with 3D modeling, I do a lot of wrong things. Things I know I'm not supposed to do, but I just do it to get 3D prints out. Alright, so just an FYI, I might not be able to chat as much as usual because I'm looking away over here at the paint, but I'll try to keep up with chat as much as I can. And by the way, welcome, Malamations, good to see you. And Platimac, good to see you as well. Alright. So this looks better on camera than it is, but this is really splotchy yellow in the centers here. We're going to put some more of this yellow-orange mixture in there. Yeah, it was really interesting to try to figure out what the proper glow look was going to be for this. I wanted to make it look like there was a bright center and things glowing around it. and it looked really good outside. Inside, I just feel like it doesn't look as glowy. And maybe having these solid yellow centers will help, but also when it's under better lighting, because it was brighter outside when I did it, maybe that'll help it look better. Platymac is correct. That is a correct tip. I've seen it happen. I wonder if I can zoom this camera in so you guys can see a little better. Let's see. Hey, thanks again, Choppus. Yeah, I've heard good things about a wet palette. Especially if you don't want to waste, if you don't want stuff to dry out. Wow, 2 super chats. Choppus, you don't have to do that. I appreciate it. If you don't have to, don't feel obligated. And for that, I'll definitely do the thing I talked about, where I'll add some better organized information in an actual video instead of a stream. Oh, what am I looking for? I want to double click on this. I want to configure video. I don't know why Xbox Game Bar keeps saying background recording. Camera control. Yeah, camera control zoom. Now, does that just make it worse resolution? I don't know. I'm gonna zoom it back out a little bit because that looks kind of gross. Come on. There we go. That's fine. Oh yeah, I still gotta do my taxes. Texas is gonna be tougher this year for me because I have like 5 days for the first 5 days of the year in another state. This will be my first time ever doing 2 state filings, and it's a shame that one of them is just for 5 days. And I feel like, I think I put airbrush thinner in the paint mixture that I'm painting with right now. It's actually painting with the brush really well. It's a little bit, I think it's the right consistency because it's kind of thin. So it's going to take a lot of layers, but you know, yellow always takes a lot of layers. I don't like the consistency I've got here, and that may be because I used airbrush thinner in it. I should do some more experiments with that, see if that's what I like doing instead of water. The way the camera's set up and the way this piece angles is not conducive to me being right-handed. If I was left-handed, boom, 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 easy. But then my hand would be in the way of the camera anyway. glow almost looks peach colored in this lighting. And on the camera it just looks yellow. It's supposed to be more of an orange. Thank you, Jay Starfield. I appreciate it. Oh, you know what I'll do? I'm gonna put my phone over here with the stream up so I can see your texts better. That would be handy. There we go. Put it right here. And I can see your chat better. Thank you, YBC. Yeah, I was just kind of suddenly inspired to make Rouge from Sonic Heroes. If anybody hasn't seen it, I've been posting images of it on the Discord. And I know Rouge is hard to find, so I'm making it so that it works with the Walmart Sonic figure. So it can have more of a common base. I think that's what the other guys do too for a lot of them. This thing is so unwieldy. Like, there's just no good ways to get it propped up for painting at every angle. Let's rotate a little bit. There we go. Alright, so that definitely needs more coats, but I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next pieces. This piece you can definitely see does not have as many coats. feel like I'd love to turn it this way so I can get at it better, but all of this is in the way. Oh, I could do this. Never had a yellow paint with good coverage. I just assumed the nature of being kind of a light color. If anybody knows of yellows, like brands of yellow, that do have good coverage, I'd be happy to hear about them. I generally dread when I have to do that. I was hoping that the orange that I mixed with this would help it be a little more opaque, but it's proving to not be the case. Oops. That's a nice sentiment, Malamations. I just realized I never put my headphones back on. I'm not hearing the music. I'm just sitting here in silence. I hear my 3D printer going. One of the downsides of the way that this was built is there's no good way to connect the elbows without doing it permanently. So I did a bunch of different things that you'll see in the video. If I get this done in time, I may get the video out for Friday's video. We'll see. But I had to make a bunch of structure for it using carbon fiber. It's hard to describe, but that's what's printing right now is little connectors to connect. Oh, wait, I thought the camera froze. Little connectors to connect these carbon fiber pieces between the arms and the little tail part, just to try to support it, because it's just way too heavy. This wasn't engineered properly, and I learned a ton about it, and it's actually helping a lot in making Metal Overlord. The mistakes that I made on this. That's, at least something's coming from it. Also, making those big feeder props gave me a lot of experience in printing these bigger things and making them, building them more smartly. That's the way to describe it, smartly. What's up, Shade? Thank you very much. Yeah, it is huge. It is unwieldy. It is really hard to, like, it's tiring just to hold this up. I mean, this piece is only 5 pounds, but you know, to get this leverage here and get my shoulder in the right position, it's not exactly ergonomic. And so, yeah, it's a tough piece to work with. It's tough to try to store it. Not just because it's big, you know, in between when I'm working on it, I have to put it somewhere. It's not just big, it's in multiple pieces, so I have to have kind of a whole layout in the area somewhere to put it out. These pieces that I need to get to now. I have to like put my hand up here. Try to get in a good position, just then not touch the sides either. Like there's these little indented sides that you want to be careful not to touch. Kind of need to do something like this. Does that still show to the camera? Not very well, but this isn't an exciting part, so I'll just hide it from the camera a little bit while I do this. Ooh, uh-oh. Tried to wipe some of the extra yellow that I got in here. Like wipe that whole layer of orange and the layer of blue off. Basically, I'm gonna need to seal this thing as soon as it's done. Oh, you definitely gotta sleep though. I don't know how high def my camera is when you see me on video, but I always got those dark circles. It wasn't, I mean, it was a mix of my choice of not sleeping, you know, through my teens and 20s. But also I had insomnia. And about a year ago, I got medication that helps me sleep better. I tried a lot of stuff over many years. Over 15 years, like different medications. And finally I got one. I don't want to give medical advice on here, so I won't say what. But yeah, if you're having trouble sleeping, definitely your doctor can do something. And it took many years for a doctor to find something that worked for me, but you know, you'll see these dark circles under my eyes often. Just because I think from so long of not sleeping. And they don't go away even after I do get good rest. Yeah, it is like a workout. Oh yeah, if Baileysaurus is listening, you bring down the Stegosaurus that Malamation made? I painted them. They're upstairs right now. My mom pointed out that the phone holder, at the size that I printed it, works great as a glasses holder. I think that's what I'm going to use it for. Oh, are you telling me you hope it gets better? It did get better. Yeah, for about a year it's been great. Oh, insomnia means trouble sleeping. I have painted the model. That's what I'm trying to see if Bailey Source is listening. If she'll bring them down. So I can show you guys. Malamation's awesome work. Put those headphones back on. I keep forgetting that I've got music going. Sleep deprived is another word for it, yeah. I think maybe insomnia is more, you can't control it, but like you can be sleep deprived without insomnia. I don't know. I don't actually know those two words. In discussing it with doctors, I'm sure it's written down somewhere in my medical documents what it is. But yeah, I wouldn't know off the top of my head. I doubt it's chronic. I mean, it was bad, but at what level do you say something's chronic? I don't know. Oh, what were you gonna try to rip? Oh, I hear somebody coming. Oh, I just ripped off more of the orange paint. It's almost like the light dusting from the airbrush didn't really adhere well. Thank you very much. Alright, check it out. Malamations made these for me. Stegosaurus figure. And Stegosaurus glasses. What I've decided will be a glasses holder. Check it out. These are so cute. So here's just one to play with. Look at his expression. Love it. Great work, Malamations. I'm gonna check it out if I want to rest my glasses somewhere. Boom. Very great work, Malamations. Let's put these guys somewhere where we can still see them in the camera, but I won't hit it when I move the model. Actually, there is no place like that. Maybe over here. Is it still in the camera? Yeah, there we go. Guys over here. Yeah. Great work, Malamations. Thank you very much for these. I love them. In fact, I think I will put this Stegosaurus, the one that's just the figure, on one of my shelves, maybe with the Sonic Adventure toys. Stegosaurus wasn't in Sonic Adventure, but he can live there. Yeah, Malamations has been learning 3D modeling. And even though we use different programs, I hope that I've been a help in just general knowledge of 3D modeling. Like a lot of the same ideas that are in Maya can apply to Blender. proud of what he's made. A gunslinger steak. I saw another person's message pop up and then disappear again. Unless somebody deleted their message just now. I feel like weird things are happening with the chat. Hitting my head on this light. Alright, so each side just kind of takes so long. The paint's already dry on these other sides, so we can get back to doing another coat on the front here. Go a little thick on these. Ooh, this other side is pulling up a little bit. Not great. It's going on very thinly. I do have a Stegosaurus 3D model from the original video game I made of him. It was very low poly. Wouldn't really even look like a Stegosaurus when printed. Oh, and I did print him before. I used to make little figures of him about this big. Yeah, actually, I think I'm tearing up this paint a little bit by doing more brushing while it's still wet, so I'm going to move on to another piece and let this dry further. I expect to do at least 2 to 3 more coats on all this. Oh, actually, I have stuff on the back to do. So, normally the back here doesn't glow, but I thought it did. So, I painted it with the glow colors, and then when I looked up the model, I was like, oh, no, that does not glow in the game. But oh, and I totally forgot about the backside here. I've got plenty still to paint on this. This whole line here needs to glow. I also noticed that in the model, only a few parts are like this orange glow around it, and then the others are just purely yellow without any glow. And I intentionally decided to be a little bit different from the game because I liked the look of this orange glow, and I wanted to put it for everything that glowed. Not quite sure why they didn't do that in the game. Why like certain glows, like certain light up areas are glow, and others aren't. Maybe they felt it was too much glow. So they just said, oh, let's make these part different type of shader in the game, so it's less distracting or something. Guys, I'm excited for Crossworlds. I think it's a really neat concept. to be able to go to whole separate areas in between different laps. And I am excited to play it with the community. My brother's going to play it, so we're going to stream it together. And then I assume there's ways to race against each other. Some kind of friends list or maybe room code that could be shared. We'd have little tournaments too. That'd be fun. How long have I been working on this? Oh my gosh. From start to finish, you know, I took long breaks on it, but I think something like I started it maybe 6 months ago. Let's find out. Let's look at the file. Let's see. Where's that? Where is it? There we go. Sonic, scenes, Squid. When was it created? Let me... Date created... Oh, no, apparently I only started this in October. That's... October 25th, so 4 or 5 months. That's not as bad as I thought. I thought it was like 6 months. Steak figure ASMR? Oh, was it because as I got closer to the mic, did it get way louder? My bad if it got way too loud for y'all. Because, you know, when I'm facing away this way, it's probably quieter. And then I was leaning toward the mic over here. I could do an ASMR where I just break supports off of 3D prints. That cracking noise. You guys can just watch me do that. I'm not a fan of ASMR. I don't like a lot of mouth noises. Some of them, you know, the voices can be kind of wet. You hear a lot of the... I think that's just the term, is a voice recording being wet. Not like a ton of, you know, click-clack with tongues and stuff. I don't know that thing that you're talking about. Where they make a character? Is that like a specific trend? And one thing about this print is it's still so rough up close. Like I didn't sand it down well enough. If any of you follow Animo1, who makes like the full-size Sonics and Shadows and stuff, he does some crazy stuff. That looks super smooth. This will make for great time-lapse footage in the video, because a lot of times I won't just leave the camera recording for a long time, because nowadays I just use my phone. My new phone's camera was so good, I just stopped using my dedicated camera for it. It's really handy to just be able to download the files from Google Photos. But, you know, it takes up so much space when I do that. So I tend not to do super long time lapses. But with streaming this whole thing can just be one time lapse. You guys can see under here, it's still got green stuff. It needs to be painted over. I replaced the little pegs with magnets. because I wanted to make it so it didn't go together permanently. I was going to glue it together permanently, which would have been a pain. Anytime I need to move to try to pack that up would be awful. And the magnets didn't work at all. I stacked these up too so they could be extra strong so the magnetic fields would overlap. Nah, doesn't hold it at all, so that's why I got these carbon fiber rods. You'll see, probably not tonight, because part of the connectors are printing right now for them. And just putting it together here at the table would be less than feasible. Science is so cool, but makes no sense. Interesting take. Elaborate. That was pretty easy to do this line just because it's got a little trot there that I can just move the brush through. Also, did I ever do anything with Squid on stream? So if I didn't stream this, we wouldn't have a list of stream names to read out at all, would we? Oh, you know what? Come to think of it, I think we did, so I'm going to have to remember to look for that video. Oh yeah, because that was the one where Highwell got me the model. I think there's this, well, seems like there's always discussion where I start something, and then Highwell's like, I can get the model, and be like, well, I don't know if I just want to take the model. And then what he gets me is so good, I'm like, I gotta use that. That's one of the things I'm really proud about with Amy, because I've been doing a lot of converting game models lately. But I'm only really, really proud of the things that I make from scratch. And I can't feasibly do that and run the YouTube channel, because it takes too long. I already get enough complaints of being too slow or not selling. So it's very handy to have these models. Yeah, it seems like oftentimes I'll be doing something and then I was like, you should use this. I'm like, yeah, I should. Let's see, Melation says, well, it doesn't make sense to me that a battery has energy that flows through conductors to let it through. Like, first off, where did the energy come from? How did it get in the battery? I don't get it. You know what? I don't know that off the top of my head. Some kind of chemicals inside of the batteries have a way to store the energy, store the charge. Yeah, there's so many things in life that we're just like, yeah, it works. Here's how it works. But yeah, if you really think like, yeah, but how does that work? It's pretty interesting. All right, I'm gonna grab another piece. I'll be right back. So this is one of the pieces that I was talking about that doesn't actually have glow in the game. It's just like a yellow line. But yeah, I wanted to add it because it just looks so... I like the feeling of having that controlled fade. Yeah, I'll think about that, Sparkle Wolf. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. shouldn't say as soon as I can. Because... Oh no, yeah, it is as soon as I can. Because, you know, I plan on doing art for the rest of the night. I have time to, you know, that's something I discussed with Bailey. What prices should be set at and stuff. I just realized I'm just spending so much time in my day, like not even having the time to think. Just doing art. Bad job there. Needed to wipe that off. And Malnation says steak. I don't think we can make a custom this big. It's too valuable. It is valuable. I don't even know if I was selling this, how much I'd have to sell this for. Because yeah, it's been, you know, 5 months. I'm not constantly working on it. Those 5 months, I took a lot of breaks. There are some serious hours put into this. What's up, Lone Guardian? That's right, Malamations. You're not paying taxes. Where did the taxes thing come up? I saw it earlier in the chat. Did I say something about taxes? I don't remember. Oh yeah, I'd definitely say that, Sparkle Wolf. East Scrubby sold that one for, what was he saying, like $1,200 and then sold the other one to the same guy. There's that guy. Must just have like FU money. Wonder if he... I put this up for auction. I wonder what it would go for. Maybe if I have to move, I don't want to take it with me. Maybe I'll put it up for auction and see what it goes for. So Chappus, by the way, you retracted your own message, right? That didn't happen automatically. I'm assuming. I'm asking that. I just keep seeing weird things in the chat, almost like an auto moderator. Oh, he did. Okay. Like earlier today in the Discord, I was talking about my Galaxy printer, and I just like kind of quickly mentioned that one side doesn't work at the moment, and it's because my FEP broke. FEP, which is the like the drum-like material at the bottom of a resin vat, It's going to puncture over time. The more you use it, it goes bad. You need to replace it. What's weird is I just replaced this one a few months ago, and it hasn't been having to need a lot of work. Like, I haven't been using it much, and it's gone bad so quickly. It's got tiny little holes. That stuff started leaking through, and between you and me, I seal them with Scotch tape. That's awful. But anyway, I had just casually mentioned that that one side didn't work because I didn't want to explain that I did bad maintenance by not cleaning it up well enough, because little bits of resin got through those tiny puncture holes and cured on the screen. And the other thing is, the screen, the glass of it, was supposed to come with a film, but it never did. And if I was diligent, I would have worked with the company to get that film. But they're just so hard to contact. Like, they only respond on their Facebook group. Tried to make a fake Facebook account. I don't have one. But just to get customer support from that company is so hard, and they won't always respond to you. It's a mess. Yeah, so, Fresh Bonbon. What's the inefficient purple paintbrush? Is that a reference to something? I heard you or somebody else say it earlier. When I was a kid, probably your age, Malamations, maybe a little younger, I made a wish on a star that I could own every Sonic toy. And at the time, I didn't really know about quality of toys and stuff. This was when McDonald's had those little rolling ones. They recently kind of brought that back. They had a similar style rolling ones for either Sonic 1 or Sonic 2. So, not even good quality toys, but I wanted them all, and I made a wish on a shooting star that I could. So in a lot of ways, this is that dream come true. Not only, I don't have all the Sonic toys. I guess I have everything that's out right now. But my collection of Jax figures is currently full. But also, anything that doesn't exist, I can now make. I don't even think that's something I could have imagined back then. 3D printers. This would be back in, say I was 8. That'd be 1999. Maybe I was 7. But I think it was before Sonic Adventure. Maybe that was during Sonic Adventure. That's why they had the McDonald's toys. I think I do. What are some of the rarer ones? I got Super Shadow. Here's my L take of the day. I actually like the more saturated color of yellow on Shadow. I don't like pale yellows. I actually don't mind how it looks. Like, I don't like Silver's pale color. People call it piss yellow, but I don't know, maybe I just drink enough water, but if your piss is looking that yellow, you want to hydrate more. If you could see my body right now, like reaching over to do this, I'm in the most awkward position trying to get here. Like, my elbow is not supported doing this. You know what? I think I need to upgrade my workflow or my style, because I just need to be more confident with my brush strokes. I think that's one of the things that makes it take a long time for painting. I just need to be a little more free with it. I think I'm just being too careful. I was kind of expecting that as I say that, I was going to make a big mistake and be like, oh, that's why I don't do that. But that line came out pretty good. Gosh, this is going to take so many coats. I actually really liked, like, normally I don't like pale pinks either, but I really liked his look in the movie. His super form. I think it was good to differentiate him from Supersonic, the tone that they used. Okay, I gotta do something different here because I'm holding it a bad way. This. Problem is, these are so fragile. See, these are both starting to break. There's just no good ways to position this giant thing. Oh, and I just messed up that whole line there. Interesting. What do you mean by drive them crazy? Oh yeah, I forgot that I was saying what rare ones do I have. Thanks to Chopis, I have Charmy. Thanks to Fandom, I have Neo Metal. I managed to get Werehog the morning it was released in Target, a state over. I was really looking for that one. What else is rare? I got 123 Omega early in my collecting, back when I was mainly just doing toy photography. Crazy to think none of this would have probably happened if I didn't buy my first Supersonic figure. I bought it for my wife. My wife was picking out toys to do toy photography for a class she was taking, and I was making foam sets for her, and I wanted to make my own photos using those foam sets. I got inspired to do it because she was doing it, and that's when I started taking pictures of Sonic figures. And then I kind of took a weird route. I started doing more Pokemon and Halo figures, and then on the Halo stuff I started making customs. And I found a little bit of success on Etsy, but that's a much smaller community than the Sonic customizing community. Okay guys, I just totally messed up this time. So much for trying to be more confident. Yeah, how did I start getting back into Sonic? It was when I made Trip. And that video took off just over a year ago, and I was just like, oh man, there's something to these Sonic figures. Maybe I should make more. Oh no! You got a hedgehog and... Oh, nice. Project Dewey? Yeah, I really want to make Fortune Teller Amy. And I have the bootleg Amy figure that I plan to use for the base of it. Okay, so you know what's happening here? Is these sides are not going to be able to do well on stream the way it needs to be positioned. So we're just going to go straight to the back. I think the first Sonic I played was Sonic 2. I played it at the beach at a friend's house because I never had a Sega. My first console was actually N64, but I think a lot of people my age started with SNES. I just didn't have a console until 64. And I never had any Sega consoles. And so we were playing Sonic 2, probably on Genesis, at a beach house. I just thought it was so cool. It was just so unique, the way that you go fast and go through the loops. And I didn't know anything about game development back then, but there was something about the way you would smoothly go over curves and things that just felt really premium, and like for some reason it just seemed hard to make compared to, you know, just a tiled game or something. I hit my head on this. So I really kind of impressed by Sonic in that first day. And then we were at the beach pretending to be Sonic characters, and my friend and I were arguing over who was Sonic. And I randomly found a ring in this, like a floating ring in the sand. It was green, it wasn't yellow, but I was like, no, I found this, look, I'm Sonic. And then that got me so much cred with my friend. He was like, oh yeah, you did find that, I guess you're Sonic. So he decided to be Tails. That's right, yeah, we were talking about it on that last stream. Oh, nice! Post that to the Discord, I'd love to see it. Good night, Malmations. Thanks for being here. Malmations and the Rit die. Oh yeah, Malmations is still here once again. Thank you for the Stegosaurus. Love them. Hello, Shadow of the Darkness. Thanks for dropping in to say hello, even though it's your bedtime. Yeah, kind of a weird time today. I took the week off because there's nothing for me to do at work. We're transitioning to a new project. The project I'm moving on to is not ready for me yet. But when I do go back next week, they're still not going to have anything for me. So my assignment will be to play the game. Yeah, we have discretionary time off, which means we just take time off. within reach, like you gotta ask your manager and stuff. Gotta be, you know, at reasonable times. Yeah, a lot of companies that have discretionary time off, they catch some slack. They catch some flack because people say, like, oh yeah, but then they work you more, and you know you technically have the option, but it's but you never end up getting to take vacation. I have not found that to be the case with my company. I'm very grateful for that. It's been very accommodating. Oh yeah, post the movie Eggman too. That'd be cool. I'm not just going to be working on Sonic stuff this week. I'm going to try to clean up a little. We'll see if I actually do. I may be too inspired. Probably also going to hit up the casino. Make some money. I got a system. I do. You've been having a lot of crashing lately, Sparkle Wolf. Oh man. Stupid. I gotta be careful what I'm doing. What's funny is, you know, just glancing at the words, I did read it as Dusty. Yeah, right. Yeah, because you were asking at one point how I deal with that, and I think I just said, like, yeah, I just kind of rub it off. Ooh. Neat. With that Gerald. Oh yeah, I just remembered. I ordered a Gerald kit from Pitt a while ago. Pitt, are you in the chat right now? Totally forgot about that. Wasn't that long ago. Last month. Late last month too, so maybe it's just on its way or something. Yeah, I got this figure to make it for the lab coat, or not the lab coat, the body of. Oh no, the lab coat too. Yeah, and then you use a different body. I think it was what's his name from Loki, maybe. But I think I'm just gonna try to make the Mr. Fantastic work. Mobius, that's right. Morbius or Mobius? It's definitely Mobius, not Morbius. Oh, unless I read the original post wrong. The character I'm thinking of is Mobius. I could be wrong about what character I'm supposed to be thinking of. Yeah, I plan to do a Wade figure. Or no, oh, you're talking about Tom. I got them mixed up. Yeah, you're talking about a Tom figure. That'd be cool too. Still looking for the right body to make a Wade figure. There was some discussion on the Discord about it, but none of them felt was exactly where I was wanting to go with it. Oh, that is way too much paint on my brush. If any of you saw on the Discord my gun beetle painted, that thing took all of Sonic 1, 2, and 3 to paint. I'm not kidding when I say I'm a slow painter. That was a fun night. We had a painting night with my family on Sunday. So Bailey and my parents, we went to my parents' house, and we went there starting at breakfast. So we just spent a whole day after breakfast just painting. We got through Sonic 1, 2, and 3 and the entire Knuckles series. Yeah, I like Wade. You know, a lot of people said there wasn't enough Knuckles, and there wasn't, but I think for a show, like, they had to come up with a story that wasn't just Knuckles. And so, while I would have enjoyed more Knuckles, I was pretty happy with the show, because I like Wade. I liked all the characters, really. Villains were kind of boring. Just kind of generic machines that they were using to fight with and stuff. But Kid Cudi, I think it was funny. It was Kid Cudi, right? I just said that very confidently, and then I suddenly had a lack of confidence. Kind of want to make a custom of the puppet. And you know what it is? I never realized that the puppet that's in the Rock Daydream part of it was a reference to a character. What character was that? Not Iblis. Yeah, what was that? I kind of want to make that version of him. Man, I am wiping off a lot of paint as I make these mistakes. Oh, it was Iblis. Yeah, I didn't know that at first. Somebody on the stream pointed it out to me. Truth be told, it's hard to picture what Iblis looks like. A lot of these characters, kind of like the big bosses and stuff, they all just kind of merge into like big old shapes to me. I can't remember specific features of what they look like. Things like Chaos and Black Doom, or even Black Doom I didn't really recognize at first until I played Sonic X Shadow. Everybody kept asking me for Black Doom. I couldn't picture what he looked like because I never played Shadow. And he wasn't really a priority character for me. But I did love Black Doom after I made him, so that definitely gave me an appreciation for the character. Maybe the same thing will happen with Metal Overlord. Because as a lot of you know, I don't really care for the design of Metal Overlord. I like parts of it, but I think like the parts that I like don't mixed with the parts that I don't like design-wise. So I kind of don't like the overall design, but maybe as I build Metal Overlord, I'll have a better appreciation for him. Oh my gosh, this is gonna take so many coats. Not so many that it's worth masking the whole thing and spray painting a yellow. Enough that it's gonna be a pain. Yeah, Eggman's kind of deceptively difficult to get on model. Because you'd think he's just like a round guy, but there's like certain curves to him and like certain lines that really need to be on model for you to draw properly and make it look like the character. Alright, I'm going to swap out these parts. Oh, while I'm doing this, these pieces are a little broken. This one here, so I'm going to glue gun that right now. I'll be right back while I grab my glue gun. And while I'm at it, I'm going to grab some water too, so I'll be right back. All right. All right, what's it? Yeah, these things are gonna be fragile. Be super careful with them. So if none of you are familiar with what I just did, I put some super glue on it, and then this is a spray that makes it harden instantly. piece is broken. This one looks a little bending. Reinforce that. Dang. These parts are fragile. I should thicken them up. I feel like I usually do a pretty good job of thickening things up, even to the point that it kind of messes with the silhouette. Like it's not perfect. Like for instance, Rouge's body, I had to thicken her body up a bit, and I had to give her a fake backpack because y'all know I'm making the Sonic Heroes Rouge, and to put her wings on, I'm doing it with a magnet to go on the back, and I had to give her a backpack to house that magnet in. It doesn't make sense because she doesn't have a backpack in the game, but I just had to do it because the wings are so thin at that point. Like if I were to do a peg or something, it would break immediately. Alright, back to this one. This is where we started. I don't think I've seen any work in progress of your Bio-Lizard figure. I always forget because sometimes YouTube names aren't the same ones. I think you had earlier mentioned Giganto, right? Are you the one who is making the cardboard Giganto on the Discord? Whose name I forget who posted that. And then also YouTube names are often different from the Discord names, so it's hard to keep track of who's who. Yeah, that's right, Jay Starfield. Thank you, Highwell Place. I have a nice backpack of Shadow's face. It's my wife has a million of these backpacks from Disneyland. They're like the leather designy bags with different designs on them from different franchises and stuff. Like at Disney parks, they have one for every ride and every show and stuff. And a lot of times they have unique features. What is that called? Loungefly bags. Well, I got a Shadow one. I was like, finally, I have one for myself. And it was nice to have a cool backpack. And the thing is, it perfectly fits the librettos for musicals. So a lot of times we'll get a book that's roughly this big. Hard to see because the camera's at a weird angle for me. But yeah, that was my musical backpack for 3 shows now. It's perfect for holding that. Oh, but anyway, what I was saying was backpack-wise, I was thinking of 3D modeling that backpack and making that the Rouge backpack that I had to make. But I just gave her a generic, like, sci-fi, faceted corners, metal-looking backpack. How will I fit that into a shelf or somewhere? Same with that Neo Metal Overlord. This one is going to hang right up here. So I'm going to hang it from the ceiling. And so it should just be right there where that camera is showing. Yeah, definitely. I think I saw it on sale at GameStop too. After I bought it, I bought it at GameStop, and then I saw it like 4 months later. I think I saw it on sale. One of the nice things about it, when I first bought it, I was going in to use my $5 credit at GameStop, the membership, and I saw like a wallet, a Shadow wallet from Loungefly of the same design. I was just gonna get that, and then I was like, oh man, this backpack's cool, but will I ever use it? And I did end up spending the extra money. You know, that's how that membership works. First, you pay for the membership, and if you're diligent about using the $5 every month, you make a profit. But you're in there buying other things, and that's how they get more money out of the membership. But I'm glad because I wasn't sure I was going to use it, but I'm glad that I got it because I used it constantly. It's great at musicals too, where nowadays, you know, I just finished my third musical, fourth if you count the one I did props for. So I'm getting to know people more, and I have more friends in the community. But when it's, you know, it's a good icebreaker for people. People say they like my backpack, and we're like, "Oh, cool! You a fan of Sonic and Shadow?" And they say, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh, check out these toys I make," and it's a good icebreaker to start talking to people that you don't necessarily know. Because as much as I love musicals, if I were to try to talk about musicals I'd be a poser. You know, I don't know all the classic musicals and stuff. I just have the ones I like, and they're usually more modern ones and more pop culture ones. So it's nice to have something other in common with people other than just liking musicals, because my knowledge of musicals is actually pretty thin. I wouldn't say it's thin, it's very surface level. Like, I know recent stuff, I know poppy stuff. For example, I caught some flack from one of my friends for having never seen Sound of Music. And then when I told my wife that I caught flack, she gave me flack for not having seen Sound of Music. And so we watched it, and yeah, it was cool. I didn't expect it to be action-packed. It was in the 40s against, I don't know if I can say this word. Yahtzees, that's what you're supposed to say now that YouTube YouTube censors it. I didn't realize that it was, you know, I knew it was set in the 40s, but I didn't realize it was all about World War II, trying to escape them and stuff. So it was, I always thought it was just like, oh yeah, they're singing in fields and stuff, there's kids, but it actually got action-packed near the end. I enjoyed it enough. Welcome back, Shark Plays. Let me catch up on chat. Cool vacation will give more time to make and produce new sculptures. Yeah, nice. Yep. School comes first. Somebody, I think it was Malamations, was asking, like, well, why do I gotta do presentations and stuff? Like, what's the point of that? And I don't think I said this at the time, but I was thinking it. Well, I mean, he had like 6 to do, and if that's the case, I think y'all have it too hard. I don't think school was that hard when I went through school. Y'all just get so much workload put on you. But it's also a more competitive world, so it's like, you know, you kind of need to, but it's like you can't kids got to have fun, you know. But anyway. One of the things I was thinking about when Malamation said that was, you know, putting together presentations. It kind of teaches you how to communicate ideas effectively. And I mean, I put together presentations even for just like trying to convince my friends to play games. I'll put together a little PowerPoint presentation that says, "Here's what's good about this game. Let's play it," and you know, just try to have that presentation skill, even if it's not in the form of a presentation. It's good to learn that, but I feel like schools put too much work into making it about the research to put in and not about the skill of effectively putting in that information. You know, like if most of the work is just like, oh, I gotta read through my book and then summarize it, it's not good. I think schools should be teaching, like, here's how to get people interested in what you're talking about. Here's how to speak passionately about it and clearly, and working on not having verbal tags. Bailey Source knows that I get very fed up with verbal tags when people say, you know, like, and things like that. And I suffer from that too. If I'm not thinking, I will fill my speech with ums and things. A lot of times you'll hear me just not say anything. If I'm in the middle of a thought, my verbal tag is kind of no verbal. I'm just, because I've worked hard on not having verbal tags like that I end up just kind of having pauses in my speech when I need to think. I just love communication. That's a weird thing to say, but I'm passionate about delivering information to people in a way that is digestible and fun. I guess in a lot of ways that's what I do on my channel, isn't it? Be right back, gonna grab the next piece. Welcome back, Shark Plays. Oh, I think I already said welcome back, but welcome back again. Let's see, making Biolizard was never easy, his net kept flying off. So what did you make it out of, clay? Oh yeah, Jay Starfield. I mean, y'all know I disappear for those last, we usually rehearse for 2 months, and I'm usually able to still do YouTube stuff for the first month. Because, I don't have to be at every rehearsal. They call certain people on certain days. But, yeah, near the end where we're doing full run-throughs and everybody needs to be there every day, it's so much work. I was shocked when I did my first musical. My first musical was August of last year. And I kind of had an easier part because I was the only person in the cast who didn't have to dance. And I had just one specific character. I've been ensemble a couple times now after, where I play multiple characters, and in a lot of ways, I found it even more difficult having to do costume changes. That was nice about my first musicals. I was the villain. I was the lawyer, the lawyer professor. I had a cool solo song all to myself, and I was part of a couple other songs. I wasn't in it throughout, like I kind of come and go in it, but I was able to just not make any costume changes. I don't even know if I'll ever have a better role than that. That was such an incredible part. If anybody's familiar with Legally Blonde, the character is Professor Callahan, and you guys will see me. You guys see it flash on my desktop a lot because it's my desktop background. The coolest picture that was ever taken of me was a Professor Callahan just going like, during like kind of my, not my high note, but a really intense part. And then of course the most recent one, I was Elton John. This is another one, well, it's covered by characters, but yeah, that was such a fun show, and I got that solo song and got the spotlight on me as Elton John. That was really fun. Every one of those was fun except for the time our cellist passed out about one verse into my song. And so everybody stopped playing the music, the orchestra stopped playing, except for the drummer. He was still doing like a, I don't know if he was shaking maracas or some kind of thing. And that kept going, and I couldn't see because the lights were so bright, and I'm wearing those tinted sunglasses. And I see like commotion, I see like the piano players like getting up and standing and looking at something. But I thought like, oh, the drummer's still going, so I'm just gonna keep singing. So I sang a cappella for like a verse before I finally like turned and I said, I think I'm gonna stop. And then the audience laughed. I feel like the audience could see a lot more what was going on. From my position, I was closer to the orchestra, but I couldn't see. It was too dark, and tinted glasses, all the lights on me. And so I was like, oh, do I keep going? And then I didn't realize that somebody had passed out. I didn't realize it was something bad as that. I thought maybe it was going to pick back up again after some kind of accident, so I just kept going. And I hope I stayed in key. Because I lost the music, and I feel like I practice a lot without the music, for better or worse. And so I feel like I'm accustomed to singing it a cappella, but the question is, how well do I stay in key a cappella? I don't know. Thank you, YBZ. Yeah, it's. I want just like one really good picture from every musical I do. The second musical I did was I was like a general with a big hat, like a bicorn hat, like Napoleon. And I shaved my beard. I think some of you have seen the picture. I shaved it so that all this was bare, and then I extended my mustache down, so I had just the big old chops and a really ugly looking mustache day to day for about 2 months. It was weird being out and about in real life with that, not mustache, my beard being that way. And the picture I got from that, I kept asking for, like, when are we going to take pictures? Can we... And I told her that I wanted to kind of have another picture like my Callahan one. That was just really, really cool. And she, the director, she was like, yeah, we'll absolutely do that. But then she just kept putting it off, and then only on the last day did we manage to get any pictures taken. And the best picture I have is just like me and a couple others. I'm kind of in the center of them, and they're like whispering gossip to me. And so at least I kind of have that to represent it, but it is not as cool as my Callahan or my Elton John photos. Yes, actually, I didn't expect that I would like playing the villain. But it was really, really fun. You know, because I get fired at the end, spoiler alert. And then I have a walk of shame off the stage. And then they all like sing and dance without me, like the whole cast. I'm the only one not, but I am behind like the screens and stuff, singing backup, just to have more voices in the song. So like after I get fired, I don't go on stage again until the curtain call, but I'm singing all this like positive stuff about the main character who just fired me. I guess the main character didn't fire me, but the client of the main character fired me. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't mind playing more villains. I kind of was a villain in the second one. It was Jekyll and Hyde, so there's like this board of pompous, it was called the Board of Governors, and they were like pompous medical board. It had a pretty cool death scene. He stabs me, Jekyll. Or no, Hyde. Hyde stabs me, not Jekyll. You know what I keep forgetting about? There's orange over here that I need to do. Let's see if I can lay this down without putting what I've just painted on the surface. And yeah, we can, although you're not going to see any of this. I'll try to be quick. Yeah, it's fun to kind of really get into a role like that for sure. What villains have you played at Lone Guardian? I'm assuming that you're talking about being in plays. What villains or even what characters have you played? Villain or not? Hey, Bluespeed, thanks a lot. It says, hey King, long time no see, how have you been? I've been well. I have been chugging along, making these. We were just talking about being in musicals, but it's nice to not be in a musical right now. That took up so much of my time. I'm happy to be back here working on things. Trying to get a sale going. I've been having the printer running, and Bailey's been working on the prints. Bailey's still sanding down the prints. E-Scrubby was telling me he doesn't do that, and that it saves time by not doing it. I was considering doing that, but then Bailey was like, "Oh, we still gotta sand them." And by we, she's the one who sands them. So I'm like, "All right, you want to keep doing that? That's nice for the customers." I just think it's way easier for a customer to be able to just sand theirs down once compared to, the doing dozens of them in a batch. But Baileysaurus wants to push that quality. That's not to say we won't eventually stop, but at least this next sale they're going to be sanded. We're doing a good handful of painted Lancelots, like full figures. Man, what I just painted is just so goopy. It's gonna take so many coats to get smooth. Oh, that's what layers is about. The front of this is starting to look pretty good, at least the front middle. I think we'll just do one more coat on these eyes, or whatever they are. Yeah, the dust is just kind of dangerous. I mean, sanding anything, you should be wearing a mask. And Bailey does it all wet sanding, so she sets it up with a wet paper towel and a spray gun just to make sure that no dust is getting out and about, and then she wears a mask and gloves and does it really safely. I think after this next coat, I am going to end the stream. When I went up there to get water, Bailey had lit a candle and it smells like Christmas up there. Really makes me want to just hang out and do something up there. And then once she goes to sleep, I'll get back to work. This feels really nice upstairs, so I might chill for an hour or two upstairs after I finish these coats. Hey, thanks again, Blue Speed. Another super chat. Yo, crazy with these awesome huge customs. Wait, I'm trying to remember the last time you were here, Blue Speed. I feel like you were here recently, but you mentioned that you weren't. Have you seen any of me making Metal Overlord? Because that's going to be 4.5 feet tall. 4.5 feet tall is a little bit of a exaggeration because that's how it was measured when it was like all the tentacles are splayed out. So 4.5 feet tall is probably more like 4 feet tall once I posed the tentacles. Like with the tentacles fully extended, it was 4.5. Oh yeah, YBZ, how you doing in that? Ooh, the parts that I'm painting now are going on real thick. Or not real, like it's still thinned down, but what I mean is I'm getting coverage now. This is looking good. Yeah, awesome. Definitely show them. Discord is a great place to post it, and everybody comments and leaves emojis. It's a nice community for that. Share tips with each other. I love the voice of the singer in this song. Well, thanks a lot, Bluespeed, for the 2 super chats. Very much appreciated. Even if you don't have time to stick around, it's good to see you here. Thank you very much. You like joining pretty much every Discord server? See, I've got too many Discord servers that I'm in. I'm trying to clear them out every time I think about it, like anything that I'm not really doing. Like, I'm in some random Discords from when I needed to ask a question about RPG Maker. And that's literally the only reason I joined it, but I still have it on there. I gotta clean up my Discord channels. It'll look a lot more organized. You have this creature that keeps showing up in your dreams, and I started custom on him, but then when I saw him again last night and noticed he has a tail. That's funny. So every time you see the creature, you're noticing new things about it in this dream that you have to update the custom for. That's funny. Wow, this new layer, you're not going to be able to tell on the camera, but this new layer just looks so much better. Look at the other side of it compared to this one. Like, in just this third layer, I think it just increased in brightness a lot more. Interesting. Over 12 years. A long time. Oh, interesting. That's a fun, creative way to put characters from multiple franchises in. You should sneak a Stegosaurus in. Does that count as a franchise? Ah! Thought it was gonna fall. I'm getting a lot of buildup on this brush. What? That like dry it up or? No, it's just like the paint was just really seeping up high on the brush. Nice! I think I'm gonna do Black Doom stop motion this week, guys. I think I'm finally do it. I'm gonna do the Radical Highway is so cool one. It's all gonna be on green screen, just because it'll be hard to set up that big of a scene because they're in such an open area. And that'll be nice and more manageable to try to animate against that. Could be fun. No, just in the background. I'd say put a Stegosaurus way in the background of what you're putting together, just as a little Easter egg. Does the said creature actually have a name? T-Bone. Yeah, from the beginning it had a name. I don't usually call it by that. I just call it Stegosaurus nowadays. But yeah, way back in 2013 is when I first made a game called Ice Escape Stegosaurus Rescue. It was supposed to be just called Ice Escape, but then the name was taken on the App Store, so I made it a stupidly long name that includes Stegosaurus in it. And the reason I did that was because like 1 in 10 levels, there are 100 levels. 1 in 10 levels was actually one that you had to go save the Stegosaurus from a cage for some reason. The game didn't make a lot of sense, but it was the first game I made fully on my own and published on Android, iOS, and Amazon Fire tablet? Is that what it's called? No. Amazon something. Whatever tablet was back in 2013. And also Ouya. Ouya was coming out back then. And so I put it on Ouya. Anybody remember that? That was an interesting console. I love the story behind it. Yeah, I made 100 levels, and it was a free download and no ads. It was a lot of work. It was 9 months of working just every night, because I was also learning Unity at the time. I originally learned Unity because for my first interview with Disney. So before I was an Imagineer, I worked at Disney Interactive. And then Disney Interactive changed names like 5 times while I was there. Oh, I was originally at Disney Online Studios is what it was called. And then like Disney Interactive, and then yeah, the name just kept changing. But anyway, I learned Unity so that I could show my rigs in a game, because I had never rigged. I had done rigs for film and animation, but not for games. So I wanted to show my rigs working in games. So I made a whole little 2.5D platformer called Turtle Cat? Yeah, Turtle Cat! Oh my gosh, that brings back memories. I made a whole level of a 2D platformer called Turtle Cat. It looked like a Squirtle. It had a shell very much like a Squirtle, and then just like a cat head. And the whole game was built just to show off like rigs of my characters as enemies and the player and stuff. Oh, don't spoil it. Sonic's gonna die in the end of your fan comic, huh? Well, now it's spoiled for me. And for everybody who listened to me just to say it. Oh yeah, Toontown Online. I never worked on Toontown Online. I worked on a game there that was unreleased. Like it never came out. They canceled it. I actually got laid off in my second week. They just laid off all of us in one meeting, just because they were closing one of the projects. And then And I wasn't even there. I was taking a long lunch. Like, it was supposed to only be an hour lunch, but we were being bad. And so I came back, and I came back at like an hour after I should have been there. And people who sat near me were all coming back, because like where I sat was all the new people, and they just like blanket laid us all off at once. And they were all just coming back from that meeting when I was coming back from lunch, and everybody looked mad. I was like, "Oh guys, what happened?" And so one of my coworkers just said, "We're fired, and so are you." I was like, "What?" And then I went and talked to the producer, because he pulled me aside separately to tell me that I was laid off. And luckily I took it well, because I didn't lose my job. At the last second, they gave us 2 weeks to just keep working there, and like we didn't have to work. We just had to, like, we could look for other jobs if we wanted and stuff. And luckily I didn't get mad or anything, because one of the other technical artists convinced them to keep me. And so that could have blown up if I got mad about getting laid off and like telling them off or something and just leaving. Then I would have only worked for Disney for 2 weeks or whatever, maybe a month when that happened. Instead, I had a 10-year career there before I got laid off during COVID. I didn't even get laid off during COVID. It was I worked for a while in COVID. You know, because by that time I was working at Imagineering in the park, and all our parks were closed down. That's what was rough. And so I kept working about 6 months during the pandemic, and then they hit us with the big blanket layoffs. Just another example of good to keep a cool head in tough situations. Now, I am not the poster child of always keeping a cool head, but I feel like I have at many of the times that it has mattered. Hey, what's up, Pink GameCube? Welcome to the stream. I am finishing up my Squid, putting on some final touches. There's like a lot of gray digital objects here and stuff. That's what I'm doing. And I'm just making many, many layers of this yellow. I have a yellowish orange, and it's just taking a lot of layers, as one would expect.
The skies ahead are vast and clear. I hold my breath.
Yeah, this paint, I had to get it mixed at a it's automotive paint. You go to a store specifically for it, and they give you a bunch of samples of what colors it could be. Like, just they have hundreds of samples, and then each one of those has a formula that they mix together. The paint custom costs about 3 times as much as spray paint, but it was the only way that I could get the right colors for this. I couldn't find spray paint or regular paint that was just the right hue. And this still isn't perfect. This is my second try too. The first time I went, I bought a bunch of paint. I did the first coat, I'm like, this isn't quite the right blue. And then this is the second attempt at it, and it's close. It's close enough. I think it needed to be a little bit more green, a little more teal in it. But it's hard to tell because Squid always has different lighting in the game too, so you can't always tell exactly what is the color and what is the lighting. Oh, that'd be cool. Project Doughy. As if like at just the very end of it, single ring, the sound effect, even though it's not an animation, with sound, you'd do like a ding in the drawing or something. Ooh, nice. A message to the resistance at the last moment. Leaves it open to more characters coming in the next episode.
They said we'd break. They said we'd lose. But here we are. What else is new? Stronger with every fall. Faster with every mile. You and me, we're built on trust.
Yeah, totally. The only thing I wish I did more was sanded it down better, because it is a good paint. And I just regret that it probably looks better on the camera than it does in real life. You might not be seeing some of the imperfections that I'm seeing right now. But also, you know, he's so big and I'm looking at it so close that when I look at it in context, I'm sure it's going to be fine. Hanging up here. Alright guys, well it's exactly 10 o'clock for me right now, so I think this is the perfect timing for me to end the stream and go hang upstairs with Bailey Source for a bit before she goes to sleep. Then I'll be getting back to it. I'm going to set off my first test print of Rouge from Sonic Heroes. And to keep working on painting this, I'll probably put on a movie or something. Well, there it is. Yeah, it's getting there. Definitely getting there. There is more getting there to be done, but it is getting there. Let's read out everybody who is being displayed by Streamlabs. We have Malamations, Choppus, YBZ, Flesh Grinder, Sparklewolf 404, Shade, Jay Starfield. Might as well show myself while I'm reading this too. Actually, I think it was more interesting. Oh, it's so zoomed in. I forgot about that. I think it's more interesting to see Squid than my zoomed in face. Let's configure video. Zoom that right back out. Oh, that's brightness. Camera control, zoom. Okay, it's being weird. There we go. All right, we got. I said shade. A tomato is JP. Did I say Choppus? I think so. Highwell plays. Lone Guardian. Fresh Bonbon 2007. Project Dewey Poppy Huggy 465. Shadow the Darkness. Did I say tomato is JP? Can't remember. It's hard to remember who I said and who I didn't. Hopefully I'm saying people twice instead of missing people entirely. Blue Speed with the super chats. Thanks a lot. I know also Choppus with the super chats earlier. Appreciate it. Oh man, I'm getting tired. Pink GameCube. Oh, I do have to go to bed early. I have a meeting for a freelance gig tomorrow. Just some extra side work. Make a little extra dough. Looks like we're down at the bottom. All right. I did say your name, but I'll say it again. Sparkle Wolf 404. Well, very appreciative to have y'all here, and enjoy the rest of your night. I'll keep you updated on this, and especially on the first test print of Rouge, which I should have by the morning or noon tomorrow. Thanks for being here for a random Tuesday stream. Have a great rest of your night. Oh, Chaos Cola too. I just saw you right at the end. Have a good night.